Kurozuka, which translates as Black Mound, is the grave of an Onibaba in Nihamatsu, Fukushima Prefecture, an area previously known as Udara. The creature that is named after the mound lives in Adashigahara, the name given to the eastern shore of Abukuma River and the eastern base of Mount Adatara. The Kurozuka is actually the name of the mound in which this Onibaba is said to be buried, but nowadays it can also be used to refer to the Onibaba as well. There are several, widely varied folklore stories concerning Kurozuka and the Onibaba. The first version that we'll visit is according to the Ashu Adashigahara Kurozuka Engi, a book published by the temple Mayumas in Kansuji near Adashigahara. It was a year of fire tiger in Jinki, the year 726 CE. A monk from the Ki province, Tokobo Yokai, was journeying in Adashigahara when the sun was about to set, and requested to be allowed to stay in a cave for lodging. An old lady lived in that cave. The old lady, who seemed to have kindly let in Yokai, then left the cave telling Yokai that there was not enough firewood. She said that she needed to go outside to get some more, but that during this time Yokai must not look further in the cave. However, Yokai became curious and he peeked inside. There was a mountain of human bones piled up in there. Dumbfounded by this sight, Yokai recalled a rumor of an Onibaba at Adashigahara who would kill travelers and devour their blood and meat, and he got the feeling that this old lady was the rumored Onibaba, so he fled the cave. After a while, the old lady returned to the cave and noticed Yukai's departure, whereupon her appearance transformed into that of a fearsome Onibaba and then started to give chase at a furious speed. The Onibaba caught up and was right behind Yokai. In this time of desperation, Yokai took out his statue of Nirin Kanon Bosatsu, a form of the deity Guanyin, from his pack and started to desperately chant a sutra. As he did so, the Bosatsu statue started to dance up into the sky, forming a shining demon-slaying pure white bow and a Vajra arrow that shot and slew the Onibaba. Though the Onibaba lost her life, she was able to go to peace from the guidance of Buddha. Yokai buried the Onibaba in the vicinity of the Abukuma River in a place which from then on was called the Black Mound or Kurozuka. The statue of Guanyin that led the Onibaba to enlightenment was from then on called the Shirmayumi Kanon, pure white arrow Guanyin, and he is said to have received deep faith afterwards. There is also a legend where Yokai did not happen upon the Onibaba by chance, but came to Adashigahara with the intent of slaying the Onibaba. Yokai received an order to kill the Onibaba that has been assaulting travelers on Adashigahara and headed immediately towards Adashigahara. However, he was one step too late and the Onibaba had fled to the north. Giving chase, Yokai eventually caught the Onibaba at Oyama and slashed at the Onibaba. However, the Onibaba was only slightly wounded and fled. Yokai refused to give up, so he constructed a building there to stay and wait for the Onibaba to return. About 3 years later, a traveler caught sight of the Onibaba, and told Yokai. When he heard the traveler's story, Yokai immediately went to go slay the Onibaba. He chased and finally caught the fleeing Onibaba. He then slayed the Onibaba. The head of the Onibaba was stored in the building that Yokai constructed, and the body was buried at a certain hill in Oyama, and as a memorial to the Onibaba, he planted a cherry tree there. The origin story of the Onibaba has changed over the years and there has been various adaptations. The most popular version is that long ago, a wealthy noble couple had a daughter whom they loved very much. However, their daughter was sickly, and by the age of 5 she had still never spoken a single word. The worried couple consulted with priests and doctors, until finally one doctor told them that the only way to cure their daughter was to feed her a fresh liver from an unborn fetus. The couple summoned their daughter's nanny and put the task of retrieving the liver to her. Expecting that it would take some time to find someone willing to give up their baby's liver, the nanny prepared for a long journey. She gave the daughter a protection charm and promised not to return without the liver, then left. The nanny traveled for days, months, and eventually years without finding any family willing to give up their baby's life. Eventually, her travels brought her to the moors of Adashigahara, in Fukushima. Despondent, she decided that if nobody would give her a liver, she would have to take one. She made camp in a cave off of the road and decided to wait for a pregnant woman to pass by. Many more years passed, and finally a lone pregnant woman came walking by on the road. The nanny leapt out of the cave and slew the traveler with her knife, carving her belly open, killing the fetus, and taking its fresh liver. Only after the deed was done, the nanny looked down at her victim, and noticed the young woman was wearing a very old but very familiar protection charm, the very same one that she had given the daughter so many years ago. The knowledge of what she had done weighed so heavily on her that the nanny went insane, and transformed into a yokai. The demon of Adashigahara developed fearsome magical powers. She learned to lure travelers into her shelter and invite them to spend the night, after which she would murder them in their sleep. She remained there on the moors of Adashigahara for many years, murdering any lone travelers who passed by her cave and eating their remains. In the Aomori prefecture, there is a different legend concerning the origin of the Onibaba. It was the era of Emperor Shirakawa. A warrior who was a vassal to Minamoto no Yoriyoshi, received a request from Yoriyoshi to sneak into the enemy territory of Mutsu. He took along his wife named Iwa, while entrusted his young daughter to a nurse as he headed towards Mutsu. The warrior was slain by the enemy and lost his life. Iwa couldn't bear leaving her husband behind in another land to return to her homeland, so she decided to stay right there in Mutsu. Several decades later, a traveling young couple requested lodging at the hermitage where Iwa was living. The woman was pregnant. As someone who wanted to return to her homeland but couldn't, Iwa saw how happy a couple they were and how they were about to be blessed with a child, and she became filled with jealousy. Seeing the couple so happy had awakened a feeling of murderous intent against them. Iwa finally took the woman's life with a knife. However, after that, Iwa found out that woman was none other than her own daughter that she had left behind all of those years ago. Iwa cried for 7 days and 7 nights. She eventually became mentally unhinged, and became an Onibaba that would assault travelers. In a place called Asamizu in Ganahe, there is a waterfall told to have been where the Onibaba would wash the knife after she killed someone. The place is called Asamizu, meaning shallow waters. It is also said to be named from how those who go to Adashigahara would be killed, and not see the morning after, or Asamizu, meaning don't see morning.